One.
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Not Another Sox podcast. I am Jack Webster here with Matt Galveo and Matt LeBeau. Still locked out here, but still got some news going on, fellas.
Yeah, no, exactly. Still locked out. We're now entering the dead of winter here with the single-digit temperatures. It's getting pretty brutal right now, but we're definitely looking forward to what news we could potentially have in the next few weeks or so as we get closer to that spring training date. So the next couple of weeks are definitely going to be telling, but it's going to be something that I think all of us are definitely looking forward to for sure.
Yeah, it's it's very cold. So that's pretty much my update.
Yeah. Cold.
Yeah, no,
it's cold.
Somebody that has come from the South, I had never seen single-digit weather, 0-degree weather, or negative-degree weather until I moved up here. And it really makes me question life until I see that DC shuts down its highways essentially once there's 2 inches of snow. So
that was wild.
Yeah,
that was wild. Is that kind of? I mean, that's obviously how you grew up. I mean, was there a lot of that when you were like growing up where they would just like shut like everything down?
No, it's gotten worse. I swear to God, because like we get snow there. It's not like we don't get snow. But nobody knows how to react. Nobody knows how to drive. At least people up here, it might seem bad, but like people will actually move on the highway just because there's snow on the ground. It's honestly unbelievable.
People only leave their house there just in the snow to get Chick-fil-A. That's it.
Pretty
much.
I'll tell you, when I traveled cross country, I saw more signs for Chick-fil-A than anything, like McDonald's, Burger King, like anything. There's so many freaking Chick-fil-A's in the South, in the Midwest. It was absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Except for your local Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, it's like, it's like Dunkin' Donuts a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to compare it to, because I think there's more Dunkin' locations here, but they're like small. With the Chick-fil-A, it's like, dude, there's like 5 in one town.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's wild. And they're all like sizable restaurants, and they're all doing like really well.
Was it like
exactly
that?
Like you can have a mini Dunkin' in like an airport
or like a gas station.
You're not gonna have like Chick-fil-A there.
Dude, imagine how fire that would be if you had like a Chick-fil-A at like a gas station, dude. That would be pretty sick.
Wow, dreaming big. Wow.
Yeah. That would be dope. That'll never happen in New England though, because all the freaking gas stations have Dunkins in them.
That's true.
There's on Mineral Spring in North Providence, right? I travel there every single day of my life. There are 6 Dunkin' Donuts on that one street.
Yep.
And you can ask anyone that's from North Providence. Ask Jared.
Yeah.
A friend of the show and former co-worker. He grew up right off Mineral Spring. Ask him. There's 6 Dunkin' Donuts, and have him count them, and he will count them, and that's accurate. It's disgusting.
I'm actually pretty sure Boston just opened up its first Chick-fil-A, though.
They did. Yep. I did see that. I don't know how they're going to handle the volume. That place must be just banged out.
There wasn't a Chick-fil-A in, but I didn't know that there wasn't a Chick-fil-A in Boston at all.
So I didn't know that either. I just saw that like last week that they opened their first one.
Yeah. Wow, that's unreal.
I believe it was Mayor Menino that was just like, no, they're homophobic. They're just not coming to Boston. And now that's kind of just thrown out the window because Chick-fil-A sauce is really good. So.
Oh man, there was a Popeyes right outside Fenway though, right?
Yeah, for the
then it got shut down. Yeah.
There's also a Raising Cane's, which if you've never been to Raising Cane's, that place does absolutely fuck.
Yeah, I've never been there before, but I heard they got good tenders for sure.
They got the tendies.
They got the tendies on deck.
Yep. Speaking of tendies, Tuukka Rask is back. This isn't a Bruins podcast, but
not another Bruins podcast.
No, he's a big Sox guy though. He's always at Fenway.
Really?
He's like always at Fenway either for Sox games or like concerts. Like I know he's a big Sox guy for sure. He's always at a few games during the season, and then he's always hitting up Fenway for like different concerts. He was actually at a concert this past summer like right after he got hip surgery, he was like on crutches, like in the middle of the crowd.
Oh, I did
just
see.
Like,
I did see that. Yeah.
Just in the middle of the crowd. Yeah, he's a big Fenway guy, like in general. He loves Fenway.
That's good.
Yeah, we should get him on the pod.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, he just got a sponsorship from Bud Light. Not a big deal.
Bud Light, yeah. Just get him a case of Bud Light, and that'll be it.
Bud Light, if you're listening, feel free to sponsor us as well.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, we did get some big news, obviously. Or we got, we had a big episode last week. Talking about our boy, Don Orsillo, last week, which is huge. We got great traction from that episode. A lot of new listeners, followers, on Twitter and everything like that. And it was great. I mean, that was definitely we want to obviously thank everybody that listened and liked and shared and promoted the episode, because obviously that was the best one that we've done so far, it was great. It was great to see that a lot of people enjoyed it, and especially Dio himself, with the retweet there, which was awesome. So shout out to him.
For sure. Yeah. Much appreciated, everyone that obviously listened. That was definitely our biggest episode yet. We're hoping to bring a lot of more of those, fun, I guess, niche, quirky episodes for you in the future, especially in the off season. Not only the off season, but this is the most boring off season that you can have. So we're definitely going to probably be doing that every other week or so. Yeah. And with everyone that is new to our show and new to us in general, if you have any critiques, any advice, anything that you kind of want to hear from us moving forward, we don't have any ego. So I think that's important to remember. We're kind of at the beginning of our journey. So this is going to be our 12th episode. We've grown a really nice following within those first 12 episodes, more than I thought we would. But it doesn't stop there. You got to continue to change the formula and have some fun, continue to keep it fresh. So if anyone has anything, definitely throw it our way. That's what we're all about.
DMs are open.
Yeah.
They're open.
I'm just going to state for the record, I do have an ego and I will not take any criticism very well.
Right.
I think what we're doing is perfectly fine. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But no, it was great to get a shout out from Don Orsillo there, and just even knowing that he listened and enjoyed it. Really, is something that you can't even imagine from like your childhood. So just personally, like it just meant a lot to us that he listened to us, and hopefully one day we can even get him on the podcast.
Yeah, I think he'd be down for that, for sure. Maybe sometime this off season, or whenever we can, get him on would be great. But I think he would be down to come on for sure. So I think he enjoyed it, and he said he got a lot of laughs from it, and a lot of memories that he was able to kind of reminisce on, and it was great. No, I really, it was awesome that he was able to listen and give us that feedback. So that was great. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. We'd love to have Dio on, the last great Red Sox announcer, and then we'd love to have Mike Monaco on, the next great Red Sox announcer. So,
yes.
Nesson, if you're listening, just announce Mike Monaco as the full-time play-by-play announcer. That'd be great.
So I think one of my favorite parts about the Don Orsillo shout out is he tagged the Red Sox, and he also tagged Nesson in it after we shit on them for half an hour straight about Dave O'Brien. So somebody over there is just like, okay, like this is a Don Orsillo episode. I'm sure there's a lot of Red Sox fans. So chances are somebody from Nesson actually listened to our podcast and knew how much everybody fucking hated Nesson, including Don Orsillo. He would have not tagged Nesson if we were positive about them there.
Yeah. That really is the best part. That is absolutely fucking awesome.
Some poor intern was listening to us, taking notes, and had to give it to his boss, and
Jim, get in here.
Right? It's literally what it was, though.
So we have some customer feedback from Don Orsillo.
And Dave O'Brien. That was
Dave
awesome.
O'Brien, yeah.
Yeah.
We did get an update on the Finnegan's Rainbow Gate, though.
Oh yes,
So
yeah, Jack.
I went back and watched the highlight, and it turns out the pitcher's name is Finnegan, which nobody even was thinking about the Nationals scrub AAA pitcher that was on the mound then. So the fact that it just blew over everybody's head just still makes it a bad call.
It was it's still an absolutely terrible call, regardless of the pitcher's name. I will give him, I guess, maybe a little less hate for the call, but still incredibly stupid. No excuses for that in the biggest moment of the biggest regular season moment in, I guess, what, like Mookie's grand slam against again that what was that against Toronto?
J-Hap.
Yeah, or was that against the Yankees?
No, that was against the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays.
J-Hap, yeah. Well, I remember that moment specifically. It was like just, another night in the middle of the summer, like fourth inning. Like that call is just so, or not call, that moment is just so unforgettable because of the year that it was.
Yeah.
But like Devers, that's an all-time Red Sox moment given the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And you had Eckersley, like, saying like, "I'm telling you, it's time to party."
Yeah.
Like that's what made that like really special. But in terms of importance, that was the Devers home run was so important and so huge, and to come out with that slop is just embarrassing.
Yeah. Can you imagine what would have happened if we lost that game against the Nationals and then had to go into Yankee Stadium? Like, I know it's still Garrett Cole and he's a choker, but yeah, having that game be at Fenway just really made all the difference.
Oh, for sure. It's huge.
You mean we would have had to kill Bronxy in his own house?
In Yankee Stadium.
Fenway is the house that Bronxy died in.
Forever.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not coming back.
No,
I
I
don't
think
believe
so.
any Bronxy CIA doppelgangers.
Yeah, no, we can't have that. But I guess we had some news today in the Hall of Fame world. It was released that Dan Shaughnessey submitted his ballot with just Jeff Kent there, checked off on his list. So not a great look on Dan Shaughnessey. I think he was the only Boston Globe writer that actually didn't vote for David Ortiz, which obviously says a lot. So, he's definitely Shaughnessey isn't really, a fan, or people in Boston aren't really a fan of Shaughnessey. He's taken a lot of criticism because he's had a lot of, dumb things that he, takes and whatnot throughout the years. Writing, covering the Red Sox. So just another, tough look for Shaughnessey.
Yeah, I don't know how you can be a Red Sox beat reporter for however many years now, 20 plus easy, and not vote for the single greatest clutch hitter and probably most important player in your franchise's history. Like, you have to have like an actual vendetta against the dude to not vote for your own hometown chapter, Hall of Famer that's there. There's obviously his reasoning behind it, and he's never going to announce it, but it just fits Dan Shaughnessey to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah. His reasoning is that he's just bitter and he just likes pissing people off. And like, there was a tweet from Carabas, and he was like, "Oh, I respect Shaughnessy for being unapologetically like, himself and like an asshole or whatever." Like, that's not it though. He's not doing it to be like different. He's doing it because he's bitter, and it must suck to be, one of the most well-known, respected sports writers in Boston, which is the best sports town in the world, and to cover the Red Sox as a beat writer and to make a ton of money doing it and still to get zero fucking bitches. And that's really the issue. He's just bitter. He's an ugly old fucking man, and he really is. He's just a piece of shit.
Fro.
I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, he sucks.
Fucking Shank, he's the worst. And I know these are some pretty harsh words, but he really is. He is just like he's a waste of space, and I really could care less about him. Again, David Ortiz meant so much to the organization. World championships, clutch hits, just greatest designated hitter of all time, greatest clutch hitter of all time, and you covered the guy, and he didn't get your vote. Not only that, but he voted for one guy, and it was Jeff Kent.
Yeah.
That's just a middle finger. And it's just literally saying to the people of Boston that paid his salary by reading his columns year after year, his slop, because he's a fucking slob, that it's just a big middle finger. It's just a big FU to all those people that actually paid his salary.
With all those subscriptions, too, to the Globe.
Yep.
Well, let's not forget who owns the Globe. The Red Sox. The Red Sox own the Globe, and I think this is fireable, to be honest. Like, how are you not going to vote David Ortiz as a linked employee of the team? Honestly, like, that'd be like if someone from Nesson got a vote and didn't vote for David Ortiz.
It's a joke. How can you call yourself a professional in the sports world, in the journalism industry, and have zero justification for not voting for? All right, fine. Don't vote for Ortiz because maybe he was a designated hitter. Don't vote for him maybe because he had a steroid thing, like he showed up on like a list once. But to only vote for Jeff Kent, like I said, is the nail in the coffin. It's the middle finger. It's like
you look like an idiot.
Right. There's so many other guys on that ballot. You could have said, well, I don't think maybe Ortiz isn't worthy, but I think maybe Schilling is, or Bonds or Clemens or any of those guys. So he's just a clown. He really is.
Even Scott Rowland, I don't understand how you can vote for Jeff Kent and not Scott Rowland if you have, no steroid guys, a hard stance on that. And, other guys like Kurt Schilling, he's his own kind of island there. But I will give Dan Shaughnessey credit for looking exactly the way his personality is, which is just like a fucking loser.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to really be committed to having curly hair like that into your 50s and still just having terrible takes. Like, he's exactly what you imagine he would look like if you've never seen his face before and just read his stuff. You'd be like, oh yeah, without even seeing a picture, that's Dan Shaughnessy, just because he looks like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
His hairstyle looks like that background that you got, Jack, for the people that are watching on YouTube. The Rob Manfred clown fro right there.
And we'll get to that clown too.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. But another freaking just clown. I mean, yeah. Manfred's just, I think his issue is just stupidity, and we'll get to him.
Yeah.
Shaughnessy is not a dumb person by any means. He's very intellectual, and he's an excellent columnist, which that even more the reason why it pisses me off so bad, because there's guys that, I mean, we do this for fun, right? But we all wanted to be in sports media, baseball media, maybe follow a team around, write for that team, maybe be a beat writer, right? That's a cool job. That's the pinnacle of sports journalism. And to fucking come out with that slop and to be a fucking slob, the slob that he is with that curly hair, is just disgusting. It's disgusting. And it's a slap in the face to everyone that actually cares about journalism, about writing, about sports, about baseball. It really is. It really does piss me the fuck off.
And it just, in the credibility factor too, like you kind of lose a lot of credibility by doing that, especially, a guy like Shaughnessy who's covered the team for years, covered Boston sports for years. And like I said, LeBeau, he's not a dumb person either. Like, he's a good writer. He's covered the team for many years as well. And, to do that, I mean, for me, you definitely lose a lot of respect for that guy, and he loses a lot of your credibility for sure going forward. Because, I mean, that just stuff like this and what happened today just obviously can't happen.
Yeah. And the other piece is he coined the phrase "curse of the Bambino." That was his thing. And that was recognized nationally. That was recognized internationally. Yeah. And maybe he's a little spiteful to David Ortiz for ending the curse of the Bambino. I don't know. That would be his only reasonable thing, being like, well, this guy ruined my career. Yeah, he fucking ruined your career because you made your career off of hating the Red Sox and just trying to piss people off in this region. He's such a clown.
I think he said it well there. I mean, he literally just tries to get a reaction out of it, and I don't think that should be somebody who's has a Hall of Fame vote in honestly the most prestigious Hall of Fame in all of sports. Like, there's nothing like Cooperstown, and to waste your vote just because of yourself is just unbelievable. And I mean, it just shows the whole system of Hall of Fame voting needs to be completely revamped.
Yeah,
for sure. If you want to play devil's advocate, at the sixth grade lunch table with your friends eating your fucking chicken nuggets, dude, that's one thing. Like, that's fine. But you're impacting people's careers, people's lives. To have
people's
a Hall
legacies,
of Fame vote,
really.
yeah, people's legacies. To have a Hall of Fame vote and determine who gets into the Hall of Fame, and you just want to play devil's advocate because you got turned down at a bar for 45 years. Like, dude, grow the fuck up. You really are. You're so embarrassing.
He gets no bitches, like you said.
He gets no bitches.
Yeah. And on the other end of the interviewing spectrum, we have Japanese legend Koji Uehara.
Yes. Oh, and just one last David Ortiz nugget here. This was from earlier this morning. There's 150 ballots that have been submitted, about 40%. And David Ortiz is there at 83.4%. So it's looking good for Poppy so far.
Yeah. Does look like he's going to get in.
No, I mean, even if it's not this year, maybe definitely by next year, when the ballot's a little bit more cleared up. There's a lot of guys leaving, so I think he still does get in this year, and I would actually kind of be surprised if he doesn't at this point. But he will get in eventually. But it is kind of cool having that first ballot Hall of Fame on your career resume.
And it'd be very fitting for a guy like David Ortiz. He definitely does deserve it if he does get in this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you were saying, Jack, moving on to Koji here.
Yeah, so obviously Koji's friends with a lot of the MPB players that are over there, and apparently has his own kind of web show that he hosts with somebody else, where he had Seiya Suzuki on, and first thing he asked them is, who are you signing with? And then followed that up with, it's Boston, right? Is there any way we can actually play the clip right now?
Yeah, we'll play it. I'll put that in there.
I just realized it's all in Japanese, but that is not
Nobody's
helpful for a podcast at all. Like,
yikes. That's unreal.
I can't wait to listen to the show again just for that moment. That is the funniest thing. Yeah, play the clip. Yep.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah, but he Suzuki was not able to comment on it at all, but it's gonna happen.
I am beside myself.
That's fucking unbelievable, dude. That's funny. Yeah, it's not in Japanese.
I just realized it's in Japanese. So, but no. So I think that I mean, with the Correa thing and the Suzuki thing, and we'll get to the Correa thing, but I mean, it's game on. Like, dude, if you can get a guy like him, plus maybe whoever else you go after, I mean, they're the odds-on favorites for the division, probably the American League. Just overall, like Bowden said, he went in his report. He said Chaim Bloom's gonna spend. They have a plan. They just need to know how much they're working with. So hopefully we'll get a little more clarity about the CBA.
No, I mean, there are still guys out there. I mean, obviously, kind of dwindling down. There was a lot of moves literally just hours before the lockout over a month ago at this point. But there's still, a lot of ways this team can improve. And I think one thing that people are forgetting about is just all the hypothetical trades that are, gonna happen immediately after the lockout ends eventually. And so we're going to see a lot of moving pieces, and it's going to happen, pretty quick after that lockout ends, because guys are going to start reporting to camp and, just going to want to sign somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting for sure as to what happens. And shout out to Koji for getting the Boston pump in there for Suzuki. So that'll be shout out to Koji for the Boston shout out there, and hopefully he sways Suzuki's decision to get into Boston for sure, because obviously Koji's beloved here. So we'll add another good Japanese talent to the roster here in Boston.
No, Koji's huge over there. I mean, I think he was the first Japanese pitcher to be on the mound when their team won the World Series. So that means a lot for them over there.
Yeah, that picture of him celebrating, World Series in Fenway Park is, forever etched into the brains of everyone that plays baseball in Japan. And obviously, it's going to be in the same category for Suzuki. So that doesn't mean that there's not going to be a lot of competition. You can look at every successful franchise or organization and say they've had, good Japanese players. With the Yankees with Matsui, who really kind of seems like his kind of comparison, besides just not being left-handed. You have the Mariners with Ichiro. The list goes on. So I think it's just going to come down to who offers him the most money. And the Red Sox can definitely offer him a lot of money. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't think the Yankees look like they're going to spend. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. But the Yankees can get him too. So.
Right. There's a lot of free agents still out there.
They're just going to re-sign Brett Gardner and Andrelton Simmons and call it an off-season, because they've just accepted the league is caught up to them.
Yep. Caught up. League's caught up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
League's caught up to a team that hasn't won since 2009.
Yep.
Sick.
Great take, Boone.
But we kind of touched on it a little bit here, but Bowman obviously, tweeting out the Red Sox have interest in him. I think he's a guy that, a lot of us, he was almost so big that he was off our radars almost. But
I'm sorry, you're talking about Correa?
Yes. Sorry, Carlos Correa.
Okay, gotcha.
And I mean, you would have to probably move Xander Bogaerts over to second base, but that would, just be almost a franchise-altering move.
Right, and it's right when when the season ended there and free agency started. Obviously, a lot of the news was that Correa was going to wind up with Detroit, and that's pretty much where he was going to end up. That's what everybody thought. And then obviously that didn't happen. Javi Baez ends up going there. And so that kind of just changed everything. And then nothing really happened. Then the lockout started. And I feel like it's kind of really anyone's game for Correa now, which is great. I mean, and if the Sox are, somehow able to land him, obviously that's a huge bat in your lineup. Great defensively at the shortstop position as well. And if you shift, Xander over to second, which obviously he's able to do, and he's mentioned that he would do, in the future here. I mean, that bolsters your lineup going into this season.
Yeah, I mean, we know there's two teams that aren't going to get Correa, which is the Tigers and the Rangers.
Yeah.
Everyone else is on the table, besides obviously the low market teams that aren't going to spend. But any team that has money to spend, they're going to kick the tires on them. I would say that it seems like the market is forming for the Red Sox very positively, which means that it's also forming for the Yankees, because the Yankees have a gaping hole at shortstop, and they're not going to let him go quietly to the Boston Red Sox. That's for sure. And really, I feel like that's, I don't want to say that's it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bidding war between the Red Sox and the Yankees, which, good old fashioned.
Love that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I could see it. I don't know if I like it, because that means one of two things are going to happen. It means that if the Red Sox win, then they're going to end up giving out the largest contract in team history. If they lose, well, that means the Yankees will have Carlos Correa. So it's I would say it's kind of a tough situation, but it's I guess a good problem to have. I don't know.
Yeah, watch him end up with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jack's just putting that in the universe right now.
Yeah, no, Ben Cherington's got it. He was a known person to sign huge free agent contracts and definitely just trade away all of his prospects. He's very well known for doing both of those things.
Please credit NAS podcast when Correa signs with the Pirates.
Yes.
Yeah. If Carlos Correa's name was Justin Masterson and he wanted $9 million a year, then I would say the Pirates are the front runners for sure.
Do you remember how much hype Justin Masterson had? Like, I believe he was traded for Victor Martinez back in 09 or so. And he was supposed to be the next huge thing. And then, surprise, surprise, he just ended up being a career fourth starter with a 4.78 ERA and no strikeouts. So
yeah, and then he came back to the Red Sox and he failed miserably. That was he's the ace year.
Yeah, didn't we just talk about that 2015 team? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was last episode, 2015.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end here. I'm hoping for either just one of the worst years or one of the a World Series year.
I agree. We've had
I don't think we've had a World Series year yet.
No,
we've had two very in the middle years that with 02 and 05, and then we did. Are you sure we did 2015, or did we just talk about that for a little bit?
Maybe we didn't. No, yeah, I don't think so.
We only had 02 and 05.
That's right. That's actually right. Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
It's all right, Jack.
I know. I'm going crazy. I really think a lot about that 2015 Red Sox team.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think whenever you're coming off a down year, you're just which 2014 was. I think you're just really hyped for the next year. And the way the Red Sox handled it was so bad that it just was you were excited about it, but it was just a horrible year. 2016 was great. So,
you want to just do the random year now?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got some other topics, but we're in no rush.
Spin that wheel.
So, from 0 to 21, today's number is 0. So 2000. Okay. We're getting a lot of early years here so far.
Yeah, we're getting them out of the way. We're going back in time.
Way back.
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously, that's Pedro's year.
Yeah.
Yep. Sox finished second in the AL East, 85-77 record.
Let's see. 2000. Okay. I mean, decent lineup.
Oh, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, decent lineup. I kind of like it.
Kind of forgot Jimmy Williams was the pitcher.
Yeah, Dante Bichette. Nice piece there.
Yeah.
Only played 30 games. Looks like a late season acquisition. Yeah, Dauber over at first. Jose Offerman had an exceptional year. That was okay. Nomar. Troy O'Leary. Carl Everett. Trot Nixon. Decent outfield.
I for some reason thought Jose Canseco was on that team, but that must have been a different year.
Nope. You got Lou Merlone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, Izzy Alcantara. I remember watching him in Pawtucket. He was the guy
Wasn't Dizzy Alcantara the guy that?
Yeah, he drop kicked the catcher. Yeah, he
drop kicked the catcher.
Yep.
All-time sports flip moment.
Yep, it really is. And I used to watch. Dude, he was my favorite player in Pawtucket. He used to drop bombs in AAA. John Valentin, utility. Lou Merlone, Mike Lansing, Mike Stanley, Scott Hatteberg, Moneyball legend.
Playing catcher at the time. He didn't know how to play first base quite yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron Washington hadn't taught him yet.
But yeah, no, I mean, obviously the thing that stands out most about this team is Pedro's second consecutive Cy Young Award, and probably should have been MVP that year, where he had a 174 ERA over 217 innings, 284 strikeouts, only 32 walks, an ERA plus of 291. So just absolutely unbelievable that year.
So I have my theory about the Red Sox teams from 99 to, well, I would say actually like 98 to 2002 is I think they probably would have been a lot better and more successful if it weren't for the Yankees. The Yankees were in like their prime run, which that was the 2000 was the last year they won. That was their third World Series in a row. But the Red Sox had really good teams in the late 90s, in 2000 and 2001. Unbelievable pitching, great bullpen, Jimmy Williams, good manager. I think that those teams would have been a lot more successful. But dude, I mean, you play the Yankees 25 times, and these Yankee teams won 104, 105 games every single year, and then they, blew everyone out in the playoffs. It was like, I mean, how can you compete with that? You just can't. So
it's tough to compete when your rival is just absolutely loaded from top to bottom.
Right.
Pitching, lineup, you name it.
That's really how the Yankees must feel now that we've spanked them in the playoffs so many times and have actually won World Series within the last decade or so. So, I mean, I know we talked about this, plenty of times now, but we're their daddies now, and it's nice to be on top.
The roles are reversed.
It really is. It's actually really comparable. Like, if you look at it, the Red Sox have won 3 championships, in the span of the Yankees having one. And then just before, they won one in 2004. So, I mean, so 4 championships and the Yankees having one. And then, the Yankees, the last time the Yankees obviously were a team that you feared in back-to-back years was probably like 99 and 2000. 2001, they were really good. And then, they kind of fell off a little bit. They still had good teams, but they were kind of just like holding on to a lot of old players. So.
No, absolutely. I mean, obviously they did have that championship team in 2009 where they just threw money on a team and it ended up working out for them. But it wasn't that same kind of mystique. I mean, obviously you got like CC Sabathia there, and you still had Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez and everything. But it wasn't those like late 90s teams where it was, almost a given that they were going to win a World Series.
Right.
But no, I mean, decent year there for the Sox. They were still in that limbo where you see a lot of those pieces that were on the 2004 team, but it wasn't quite there. Just didn't really have the same management. And honestly, the kind of thing that really drove them to that 2004 championship was they did embrace analytics a little bit more. They're one of the first clubs to do that. I think that was really just the missing piece of some of those early 2000 teams.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're probably right.
For sure.
Yeah. What else we got?
Rob Manfred is very fragile and let go probably the best reporter in TV right now in Ken Rosenthal.
Yeah, just very, like you said it best, Jack. Just a really, really tough look for Rob Manfred. I mean, Ken Rosenthal is one of the great reporters. Him, Buster Olney. Those are the guys that you think of when you think of, the media and the MLB. Ken Rosenthal is obviously a legend. He had some criticism on Rob Manfred, which is fine. I mean, if you're reporting baseball, if you have some criticism about, the commissioner, that's fine. You should be able to have conversations, about the commissioner, about, whatever's going on in in the league, around the league. You should be able to have conversations about it. You should, hey, I have criticism on whatever he's doing at the moment, and you should be able to have that back and forth, have a conversation. But Rob Manfred, obviously, he's not very privy to it, so he booted Ken Rosenthal, which sucks because he's again such a great reporter and very well known, throughout baseball. So it's just tough.
Yeah, it really is. It's such a pussy move from Manfred to let go of a guy like Rosenthal, which Ken Rosenthal will still have a very, very successful career with, his own work that he does. But you look at a guy like, take Adam Schefter, for example, right? Adam Schefter, his craft that he, how he modeled his job after, which is the scoops, those instant tweets, having a lot of different perspectives on different networks. He got that from Ken Rosenthal. I mean, Rosenthal wrote the book on how to be a modern sports journalist. I mean, he is he's like the Michael Jordan of the scoop journalism. Like you have so many guys trying to break news nowadays, right? That's like what kind of sports journalism is.
Yeah.
And Rosenthal does it better than literally anyone in the sports world. So, I mean, for MLB Network to lose that because of some mild criticism is just, I mean, it really is. It's pathetic. It's so pathetic.
And it wasn't even something recent. This was over the 2020 suspension from COVID, when he had some, just valid critiques of, a very high possibility of there not being a season due to a labor dispute and not even COVID concerns. So, I mean, it was very legitimate, and he wouldn't have been doing his job for The Athletic, not even MLB Network, if he didn't talk about a lot of these issues that were going on. He has a lot of actual readers, which sometimes you forget about. They're not just Twitter personalities. They do actually write.
Yeah, they're not just furries.
No. No Tony the Tiger.
No. Oh. That was a popular segment there.
Yeah, fuck Kellogg's though.
Yeah. We could get us a Kellogg sponsorship though. So you just burn that bridge.
That.
But no, I mean Ken Rosenthal's great for baseball. And like you said, Jack, he wouldn't be doing his job. I mean, his job is to report. And a lot of that is, if he does have criticism, he should be able to express that. And, I don't see an issue with that, but obviously Rob Manfred does, and he let him go, which is terrible. Fucking dumb.
Yeah. And another thing, kind of not to harp on Shaughnessey again, because I already fucking ripped that ginger a new asshole.
Rob Manfred gets no business.
The day after, Manfred doesn't, but that's because of stupidity. Again, Rob Manfred just can't talk to the girl at the bar. Shaughnessey can, he's just too ugly to pull her.
Yeah.
So, the day after Rosenthal got fired for bad mouthing Manfred in the MLB, Shaughnessey came out with an article that said John Henry is not like Rob Manfred, and for that I'm thankful. Basically about how he's dogged the Red Sox for fucking 50 years, and and since the Red Sox ownership took over in 2001, that they haven't basically fired Shaughnessy because they own the Boston Globe. John Henry owns the Boston Globe. And so Shaughnessy was like, I'm thankful for that, whatever. And then he probably went on to dog him a little more. I didn't read that slop. But then he comes out and then he fucking doesn't vote for David Ortiz for the Hall of Fame. I mean, really, just God damn it. Fuck you.
No, and I mean, it's actually so smart of John Henry to also own his haters. You're making money on both ends right there. That's honestly low-key great. That's like if you own the Red Sox and the Yankees, or you own the Washington football team and the Cowboys. You're making money on both ends here.
Yeah. No, it really is. I mean, they own Boston and they own the narrative. But I got to say, John Henry, he controls it a little bit, but he doesn't go over the top. He's not like a propaganda machine, maybe just like instead, maybe don't like get our hopes up for Anthony Renato and like, fucking Lars Anderson. But other than that, like, I mean, they're pretty, I guess, okay when it comes to.
Yeah. How do you think
don't
LeBron
really
James is going to handle Dan Shaughnessy's criticism of him moving forward?
Yeah, I actually am interested to see that, Jack. We haven't heard anything about the Hall of Fame ballot from LeBron James, so we're still waiting on that. Hopefully, he releases a statement on his Instagram story or something. And it is Taco Tuesday, so he is a little bit busy, but I'm sure we'll be hearing from him at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's LeBron James. Of course, he's gonna vote for Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. I think he's gonna have a nice ballot. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, I agree. LBJ.
LeBron James, big David Ortiz guy.
Yep.
The Yankees actually did something cool. So
They did. They did.
Yeah.
They hired the first female full-time manager in baseball for the low A affiliate of theirs down on Tampa. I'm trying to find her name right now.
Rachel Balkovic.
Yep.
Yep, that's her. So yeah, she's going to be managing that low A ball, like you mentioned, Jack, which is cool. She'll be that the full-time manager there, which is it's great. Obviously getting women involved in baseball and in the managerial position, which is great for the game. So obviously it's gonna attract a whole new audience for baseball as far as women and obviously the younger girls getting involved and watching the sport. And so that's great. Obviously good on the Yankees. We like to dog them a lot on here, obviously for obvious reasons, but that definitely was cool. And obviously it's looking forward to seeing what she does there. So good on them for sure.
Yeah, I hope she fails because I hate the Yankees. Good for her. Really,
I hope she gets hired somewhere else.
Really,
Right.
really proud to obviously been watching baseball my whole life, and I would say over the past 10 years, you saw a shift of women getting into media more. Not just 10 years, but before that as well. And now it's good to see them actually getting into the coaching side because, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't need to have played professional baseball to be able to coach someone. Coachability and being able to coach is a skill that some people have and some people don't. Some players that hit 300 and maybe hit 40 home runs a year probably wouldn't make the best coaches. And some players maybe who never could make it past single A might make the best coaches of all time. So, no, great for her. Hope she fails. Hope that she ruins the Yankees organization, and hope that every player she manages at single A, their career is ruined because hating the Yankees is more important than equality. Say it with me.
Well, it's funny you mentioned some of the players down there because I saw so many Yankees fans mention the number one prospect in baseball, Jason Dominguez, is going to be in their high A ball for this upcoming year. So, I mean, it's going to be kind of cool to see him go from like number 17 to number 53 to number 92 and then just fall off the list and like make his major league debut and then sign with the Doosan Bears in Korea. So I'm really excited about this Jason Dominguez a story arc that we're about to see over the course of the next 7 to 10 years.
I think that if Dominguez is a bust, I think that would be the final nail in the coffin for Yankees fans. I think you just see a lot of people just like disappear. I truly think that like that would be it. They'd be like, all right, I just can't do this anymore.
And Brett Gardner's still playing center field.
Yeah.
Brian Cashman's at the helm. Nothing has changed. He's still just like going out and sleeping on the streets and climbing New York City skyscrapers for whatever fucking reason.
The year is 2035.
Yeah. Brian Cashman might actually be homeless at that point.
Yeah. That's him sleeping on the street is like practice for him.
Yeah, he put all of his money in
Oh,
Bernie
shit.
Madoff.
Yeah.
Everybody said the Yankees were a poverty franchise, and then Brian Cashman went and slept on the street. Now it's literally true.
He is homeless.
Yeah, he couldn't afford his New York City rent, but that's understandable.
Yep.
He's living
I'm
in a
pretty
closet.
sure Aaron Judge is like just getting enough arbitration in order to get like a single apartment over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Aaron Judge can stop taking the subway from Brooklyn now.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't count on his wife to drop him off at the stadium.
Right, because she's a school teacher. She still has to work.
Yeah. Just like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
They take the train in every day.
Yeah.
Oh shit. There was a cool nugget on her though. When she was working with the Astros in 2016, she actually learned how to speak Spanish herself to better communicate with the Hispanic players on the team. So I thought that was actually pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
I don't think I could learn another language.
That's why I do the Spanish word of the day.
That's right.
So that
Little
way
by little,
I can
I'll get
manage the
there.
Yankees.
I think if I had to learn a new language, I definitely could. But yeah, to just do it voluntarily, like to communicate with the players better, is it's very noble and definitely respect that. Hope she fails.
One place she did manage was over in Australia, so she had to learn that language as well.
Yeah.
But we actually did see a first in not affiliated ball, but in professional baseball with Genevieve Beacom, a 17-year-old lefty who threw a scoreless inning for the Melbourne Aces about a week or so ago. So that's definitely cool to see, I think our scouting report is she has a fastball that hits 85 or so and a nice curveball to go along with that. So I think we actually might see, kind of more of a wave of not only, female managers and front office executives, but, possibly even players and not too distant of the future in at least, minor league baseball or overseas here in America.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. That'd be cool for sure. There was a show what was that show that was on for like a season?
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
She
It
was
was like
a
Rookie or
pitcher.
something? No.
No, I don't think so. She was a pitcher and
Yeah, for the Padres.
yeah.
It was only on for one season. I remember
It
that.
was on for one season. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I should watch that. I never did. And then it was
Never did
over.
either. I don't think anybody did.
Yeah.
No, it's just called Pitch.
Pitch. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's on 2016. It is on Hulu. Maybe I'll give that a watch tonight. I'm off work tomorrow, so we'll see.
Oh,
There
nice.
we go, Jack. Must be nice.
You had today off. Shut the fuck up.
I did. But yeah, no, I know we touched upon this, I think, a couple episodes ago with the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball broadcast. So, yeah, they did. They're bringing on Eduardo Perez to join the booth there, former Reds player. So yeah, they're getting a little bit of a shakeup, which is good. No Matt Vasgersian, no A-Rod. So yeah, definitely a little bit of a shakeup for ESPN, which is going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing the new broadcast for sure.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is A-Rod will be off the broadcast, which is completely fine with me. I'm sorry, I missed that. Who's the play-by-play announcer? Is it going to be Vasgersian or is it someone else?
It's going to be Carl Ravage, Eduardo
right.
Perez, and David Cohn on
Yep.
the main broadcast.
Okay. And then A-Rod's going to go over to Manning cast type thing with A-Rod cast, whatever.
With
Michael K. Yeah.
Michael K. That's fucking horrible. That's dreadful. I'd literally.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, I'd rather.
You mean you're not going to watch?
Than fucking watch that. This, that's absolutely horrible. I guess the biggest question is, will they do the StatCast simulcast thing?
Apparently it's dead. Mike Petroselli, who was on a lot of the broadcasts before, is very much hinted at it. I don't think they would do 3 simulcasts of it.
Right.
But that's actually why I like David Cohn in the booth for the main broadcast. Is, he was a former player, but he actually does know a lot about like the analytical side of things. And honestly, like, he's a guy that could probably manage on a different team who would probably be better than Aaron Boone, to be honest, for the Yankees. But I think he's, going to be a very nice ad. You've seen Carl Ravage on Baseball Tonight there for a while and doing some broadcasts. Same thing with Gerardo Perez. But I think David Cohn's actually going to be a nice addition. He does do a good job on the Yes Network, and him doing Sunday Night Baseball also means that he's going to be less on the Yes Network now too. So
yeah, and Cohn's made his way, around the majors, so he has a lot of different perspectives. Obviously on the Royals, obviously the Mets, but the Yankees and the Red Sox as well. So played for a lot of different teams. The Blue Jays in there. So, it'll be great. I mean, I like Cohn. He's good. Again, get a lot of different perspectives. Always good to have a pitcher's perspective. I feel like really they do make the best color commentators, because the pitcher's perspective is the perspective that I want, honestly. And that's why Eckersley is so good. That's why John Smoltz is good. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And honestly, Michael Kay is not bad either. I mean, he's been doing it in New York for a while, so the Yes Network could be worse in terms of their broadcasters. And I'm sure, Yankees fans would have agreed for the long time with Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy in the booth that it was not a bad product either. Yeah. So they're going to get a little bit of a shakeup on their end too. They're going to have to, fill some of those gaps.
For sure. Really RIP to the StatCast. I did enjoy that. So that does suck that that's going to go. I watched that Red Sox Yankee wildcard game from this past season on the StatCast because I could not listen to A-Rod and Matt Vasgersian there. And but yeah, I really enjoyed that. Obviously it sucks, but they're not going to run three simulcasts there, but yeah,
right.
RIP to the StatCast.
Yeah, and 3 would be a lot. That's why you kind of just assumed that the StatCast was going to go when they announced the Rodcast, which is just a fucking dreadful idea in itself.
So are they going to run it exactly like the Manning cast for Monday Night Football?
Who cares? Nobody's going to watch.
No.
Who's watching this?
No. Yeah, honestly, everyone hates A-Rod, right? And then Yankee fans also, most of them hate A-Rod. So some of them like him, but most of them hate him. Therefore, you are really like honing in on a very, very small portion of the baseball audience. Right. He's not Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's like the most likable guy in sports. Yeah, he's really on fucking SNL. He's on commercials. He's a sweet guy. He's just a nice guy.
Eli as well too.
Yeah, and Eli's just like kind of dry, funny, and like he kind of like. And Manning's like the personality, but he's a nice guy. A-Rod is a sociopath, and everyone he's not fooling anyone. Like he's not. It's just it'll be a disaster. I give it 1 year.
For Red Sox Yankee games, they should have Ben Affleck on there.
Yeah. Affleck and A-Rod. That'd be hilarious.
No, I'm sure they'll do their dumb player interviews, and Alex Rodriguez is going to ask them very awkward questions in the booth. But like I said, I don't think anybody's actually going to continuously watch this. They probably just had to keep A-Rod under contract and said that he can do the games, but didn't want him on the actual main broadcast that people are watching. So it's a demotion for him for sure. I know he gets his own show, but he's going to be on ESPN 8 the Ocho now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's definitely a demotion. It's definitely a demotion.
He'll be doing Manning casts of, cornhole.
Nah. Competitive skee ball.
Competitive tag, which is crazy. I actually saw that a few weeks ago. That's unbelievable. I've never seen that before in my life. Competitive tag is unreal.
That's ridiculous.
You'll join Gary Thorne calling some cool bowling moments.
Yeah, exactly.
A strike to claim it.
He got it.
Oh shit. Gary Thorne is a legend. He's
He's
good.
awesome.
So good.
Yeah. I don't understand why the Orioles let him go. It was like the one thing people were watching for.
Yep. Makes no sense.
That's all you have to look forward to if you're an Orioles fan is Gary Thorne.
Gary Thorne would be a great fit in Boston if O'Brien ever leaves.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Mike Monaco after this, so we already have the guy in the wings because
right. And we're gonna
also require them paying somebody, so
we're gonna bring him on at some point.
Yeah. And Monaco for Nesson, I feel like he'd be cheaper than like a Gary Thorne or like going out and getting someone. And I hope that Nesson actually just listens to the fans this time and like reads the tweets and reads all the nice things that people say about Monaco and how they love him when he's on the broadcast. Because if they do and they try to right the ship, then hopefully, I'm hoping that O'Brien's contract is up and Nesson's just like, hey, listen, like we're not going to give you a raise because we have this guy. And then O'Brien's just like, all right, well, I'll just go do the ACC, ESPN, whatever, and that'll be the end of him. That'd be great.
And then they'll come up to him once his contract's up and they'll say, well, we heard a lot of bad things. We got a lot of negative feedback from this podcast, NASP.
Yes.
If you've ever heard of it, they said a lot of bad things, and Don Orsillo agrees, and so we can't have you anymore.
Dio agrees. There's Finnegan's Rainbow.
Yeah, right out the door.
That pot of gold
and
is
then
your
you
fire.
let the moment breathe. You just silence.
You gotta let it breathe.
Gotta let it breathe. Exactly. But I think that about wraps up this one. Obviously, we had some news here to bring everybody. So that's kind of catching up on some of the news that's happened in the last week or so. Obviously, thank you guys again for listening. Last episode was amazing, and hopefully you enjoy the episodes to come here. And that wraps up another one, 12 in.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.